Yeah, so the 2014's got like a really nice decked out interior. Super clean right now. Noah! Noah, what the f are you doing? Dude, what the f, dude?
What?
All right, guys, we finally did it. After the long search that I've been teasing you with for my new BMW for the channel, I finally got it. If you haven't seen our video, we got a shop too. And inside is the new BMW, and we're gonna get this thing to 700 horsepower for under 10 grand. It's gonna be a hellcat killer. Are you guys ready? Boom, here it is. It's a 2014 BMW 550i, and if you don't know, this is a twin turbo V8. This thing is a monster. Let me pop the hood. I sold the last piece of shit BMW. And got myself into this thing for $8,000. Let's take a look. Oh, there she is.
N63 TU, baby. If you haven't heard, the N63 TU is the most reliable BMW ever. Never a single problem, never a single maintenance issue. None of these engines have ever blown up for anyone before, so I think Lenny's pretty set right now.
No, Noah's making a joke here. The original Gen 1 N63 is undoubtedly one of the worst BMW engines that was ever produced. They blow up prematurely. They were terrible, terrible engines. This is a 2014, so this means that we have the N63 TU, which is the second version. If you can tell,
I'm pretty sure that means it's got forged internals.
Okay, we won't be needing this thing. So, if you take a closer look, see these bad boys right here? Yep, twin turb skis. I promise you, 2 more cylinders and an extra turbo, and we got it. Twin turbo V8. This thing looks like an absolute fucking nightmare to work on, but we are going to like do everything we possibly can to squeeze all the horsepower out of this. If it wasn't unreliable to begin with, it's gonna become terrible. So one of the biggest reasons why these things are unreliable is because of the design. It's the nature of the beast. This is called a hot V, so it is a V8. It's a 4.4 liter V8, but the hot V, basically, it flips the heads around. So your exhaust manifolds all in the middle. So your twin turbos all feed to the middle of the V, concentrating all that fucking heat right in the middle. And then your intakes go on the sides of the heads, where usually you'd have your headers. So because of that, valve seals and a bunch of other shit just completely burn out prematurely. So that's what, like, hopefully the second iteration of this engine fixed. But that leads me to my next part. You may be asking yourself, how did I get into this thing for 8 grand? Well, it has 100,000 miles, which is like something no one should ever buy. Never ever buy an N63 with 100,000 miles. But I did it, and that's my job, is to show you guys what it's like after you make a terrible decision.
Well, the 100,000 miles is only one of the caveats. What are the other major caveats with this vehicle, Lenny?
So the other caveats, let me close this hood because I'm sweating. Some other baggage this car has. Well, it was in a reported accident. I don't know how bad and I don't know where. Now, I've done a thorough investigation. We're gonna get this bitch on a lift to do some even more thorough investigation. But the worst part, I would say worse than anything about this car, is that this car was reported stolen. And we're still trying to figure out kind of what went down. There's not a whole lot of information out there, but I think I have one clue when this car was stolen and why it was stolen. Let me show you. Okay, so one thing that I noticed on each one of these wheels is this divot right here. And if you don't know, these are basically stock BMW rims. This is supposed to have a little M badge right here. Could it have peeled off? Sure, but all wheels are completely blank. I think that this car maybe was stolen and then the rims were stolen, or maybe just the rims were stolen off the car. I don't know, but that leads me to believe that these are not the real stock rims. They're probably reproduction rims. Let me show you what it's supposed to look like. Boom, right here. That's what it's supposed to look like, this little M badge. Now, like I said, that's just what I'm guessing. I don't really know for sure. I'm sure as we dig more into this complete pile of a mess, we're gonna find out more stuff. But overall, with 100,000 miles and how much baggage this thing has, it's really clean. I'm very, I mean, it took a long time for me to find this car. I've been talking about getting rid of my black BMW for so long, and the reason is because I find the best deals out there. It took me, I think I looked at 18 vehicles to find this. It took forever, but this is what I came upon, and I think this was the best deal I could possibly find. I mean, you could tell it's a 2014, so it's got the nice M steering wheel, and it's got, you know, all the updated bullshit. It's fully packaged, M Sport. It's everything you want. So the car does have a few dents and dings, but like I said, it's fully optioned out. We got the sunroof. I think these are probably aftermarket, but these look like real carbon fiber mirror caps. If you come to the back, it's got all the nice blacked out trim, which if you know me, I can't fucking stand chrome. And
But chrome gets you dome.
Not on the newer cars, maybe on the other cars. Carbon fiber, this also is probably aftermarket. So there's a few things that we're gonna have to change. Let me show you one of them.
Yeah, we gotta get a bigger lip right here. This is too
definitely getting a bigger lip. It's gotta look way rowdier. While this is the M Sport, you gotta change out these ugly chrome grills and add a big ass splitter. That would, I think, really tie it in for really not that much money. Just a few mods goes a long way on this car. Maybe we'll lower it. I haven't decided yet. Let me know down in the comments if you think this car should be lowered. Okay guys, we got the shop and I spent about 40 hours painting the wall. So got a little bit of touch up I gotta do. On top of that, we got these lifts from Quick Lift USA. They are amazing. We have 2 of them.
Yeah, so our friends from Quick Lift USA came out to install both these 2-post lifts as well as an oil drain and massive air compressor. And if you go to quickliftusa.com and use the discount code BackspeedBoys, you can get 7% off your order. So go check them out.
Yeah, so these are great lifts. They're 9,000 capacity. So production is gonna go a whole lot faster and better. So bigger, better builds, what's not to like? All right, time to put this thing in the air to check out what I got myself into. Probably should have done this before, but better late than never, right? Also, new Backstreet Boys merch, backspeedboys.com. Hey, what does that shirt say?
BMW broke my wallet. You gotta make a white one.
I'm sure this car is no exception. So that sound is normal, that's the locks.
Yeah, those are the safety locks.
These lifts are amazing, and yeah, they work great. We are underneath the beast at the moment right now. Now I'm seeing a lot of it's hot, a little warm. A lot of very useless exhaust restrictors.
So this stuff has gotta fucking go. We can't have power restrictive exhaust. We're gonna have to do some sort of customization of this exhaust system, not only for sound, but for power. So that's one thing that's gonna have to happen pretty soon. If we take a look up here, you know, I mean, some things may look a little wet. I don't see, like, I feel like if it was leaking a bunch of oil, this would be super soaked. So that is a good sign. Let's take this belly panel off and take a closer look. Oh.
Got some wear right there.
That's some wear. Maybe that's when the thieves stole the vehicle. Okay.
A lot of
some scrapage. We got some big scrapage right here. That's not good. Other than that though, like, it doesn't look terrible.
Yeah.
So one thing that I want to give you guys a tip on, and this is one of the biggest things that I found when looking for a new car, was every vehicle had a lip right here. If you don't know, after a certain amount of brake pad change, you're supposed to change your rotors because they develop a lip because it wears down the inside of the rotor.
And probably 9 times out of 10, the BMWs that we looked at had a massive lip. And what does that tell you? If they're not replacing their rotors around 100,000 miles or so, then they're not doing anything else. I mean, brakes, I would say, is one of the most important things you could possibly do.
No, 100% no, it's right. So that was a huge plus. I was half sold at that point. The other thing, if you can tell, these are Goodyear, and these are run flats, which if you've ever had a BMW, a newer one, that's how they come from the factory. I've never met a single person in my life that has replaced the tires with run flats. Okay, so yes, this car was stolen. Yes, this car has an accident. Yes, it's got high mileage, but the good news is we have the Carfax. It was always serviced through a BMW center. And you know what? The person, if they're putting expensive tires on it, which I would never do, I'd always find the cheaper tire. But this person wanted the run flat tires, so this is like the factory's spec. They're paying, you know, probably $300 per tire, and you know what? They had the rotors replaced. They're not warped or anything, so the fact that they're putting money into that means that they probably put money into all the belt changes and everything else. And a good serviced BMW is still a risk, but it's much less than if you go look at a car, which we've been looking for the last like 3, 4, 5 months, and we've had to say no to so many cars. That's the hardest thing as a car buyer, is to find the car, you like it a lot, but then you just know, like, hey, this is the dumbest idea. And this right here is the dumbest idea, but it is so much smarter than the other cars we looked at.
So almost the dumbest idea.
Yeah. I think this thing is gonna be a fucking amazing sleeper. This is gonna be an absolute hellcat destroyer when we're done with it. And all for under $10,000. So
yeah.
Everyone wants to say, oh, why are you using Hellcats to compare? Because Hellcats are expensive as fuck. So the fact that you could have something that just destroys, just annihilates a Hellcat for so dirt cheap, I
All right, so got a few bolts left. Gotta say, this is much easier than being on the ground doing this. There's like 3 trillion skid plate bolts, and we could pull this off and get a better look at what's going on underneath here. There's so many, dude.
Thank you, BMW, for putting 1 bolt on each side, putting 50 bolts on each side.
Okay, it's gonna fall down. There we go. There we go.
Look at all this crap.
Okay, so right here, we got a leaf. That's not bad. Okay, so you could tell these belts are new. Wow, that's so weird. It's like multi-serpentine.
Those belts are nice.
Belts are nice. Oil, honestly, it's not too bad.
I really don't see too much. It's nothing compared to your Beamer.
Nothing. That's oil. This is the worst. Just probably by, I mean, I'm assuming that's the oil pan. It's not terrible. There's gonna be a little seepage. Okay, it has 100,000 miles. That's not that bad. It's like sweating at best, but the fact that on my Beamer, dude, the whole power steering rack was dripping, like literally dripping. Okay, and like I said, because this car is a hot V8 design, the intakes are where the headers or the exhaust would be normally. Here's kind of a better look at that. So you can see that a big plastic canister right there, that's where like the header would be. That is actually the intake system. And this exhaust basically wraps up and around to the top middle where those turbos come out of.
Oh, look, this is the electric power steering right here.
Oh yeah, I didn't know this model had an electric power steering rack. That's good news. One less thing that can't leak.
I'm sure it'll come with some kind of electrical draw instead of a leak.
Yeah, first guy to have a power steering draw. Overall, like pretty clean up inside here. You got, looks like a lot of those radiator hoses and things, those have been replaced. Belts look pretty good. No, I think we may have landed a score here. I think our intuition paid off.
Well, we're gonna boost it to the moon, so we'll see how this looks.
Yeah, after the tune and downpipes, this may not be the same story.
Okay, enough with the technical bullshit. Let's get this car down, get it out on the road so you guys can see how much horsepower is just oozing out of this engine. Okay, put it down. There we go.
Yeah, the difference a lift makes when working on a car.
Oh, I know.
Insane.
I'm gonna use every excuse I can to use the lift. Even if it, like, I totally don't need to, just for fun, I'm gonna play with the lift just for fun.
Just like that, easy peasy.
Okay, cut it.
All right, let's go take it for a spin. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Brakes for the power.
Doesn't have the brakes for the power?
No, dude, you can go so fast, so quick, and this is completely bone stock. The brakes do not feel like adequate to stop. Like it's a heavy car. It's like 4,300 pounds. Yeah, once you get like you're 15 miles an hour, this thing just fucking zooms. It's such a linear power curve.
Power of a V8 with twin turbos.
It's like there's like no drop. The drop off is when I take my foot off. Like it just keeps going. Like it runs. It wants to keep going.
So maybe we gotta upgrade the brakes, but I want to tune this fucker already, dude.
Yeah, tuning it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, it's bone stock. Downpipes, tune, custom exhaust.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe some upgraded turbos.
We'll see.
System.
We'll see. Maybe we can do the drag strip first and figure out.
Absolutely. We gotta run some times, get some stock times. This needs to be a Hellcat destroyer.
I'd like to race a Hellcat right now. Just saying.